Hi guys. I always do my talks here because I'm free from the house. As most of you know, I look after Brian, who's got dementia. So it's really tricky to have the peace to be able to speak without him saying, "Who are you talking to?" and not understanding that I'm talking to you guys. I'm going to talk about, as you all know, I'm a raw vegan. For the last 3 years, and the reason I feel that I need to do the talks is because I've come from, like the doctor said, I'm really sorry, Della, you're a really poorly person. You just got to take your medications and do the best you can with your life. And considering I've been a poorly person since about the age of 30, it's a bit hard, especially as now there's nothing wrong with me. So I'm going to talk about my triple heart bypass. Now, I can never quite remember the dates, so don't quote me if I say a different date. But leading up to my triple heart bypass, I remember one thing really sticks in my head. Remember, this was half a lifetime ago. I went to this train station. I can't remember. I was visiting my son anyway, and you've got to go up a quite a big incline, and I had my suitcase with me, and I just couldn't do it. I just couldn't get up the incline. I was really struggling, and I was rushed to hospital, and my blood pressure was sky high. Well, that's when I started along the route of seeing the doctors, and they sent me in. I went in for, forget what you call it now. I went in for, an angiogram. I went in for an angiogram, and I've had seven angiograms since. The last angiogram I had, I saw somebody have to have their leg off through having an angiogram. That made me say, never again, no more angiograms. The poor woman was, probably quite healthy, and she'd had a routine angiogram. I don't want to frighten anybody. I really don't want to frighten anybody. But you have to face reality. If you don't know that these things can happen to you, then you're just going to willy-nilly, I'll have an angiogram, I'll do this, I'll do that. So I had an angiogram. They sent me home. They said everything was fine. The doctor said, no, your heart's fine. They sent me home. Great, of getting on with my life. Still had the angina, like the chest tightness and everything when I was climbing the hills and that. I couldn't run. There's no way I could run. I could just about walk at 30 odd. So a month later, I got a letter, or we've seen something on the results. Would you come back in again? I went back in again and let them do another angiogram. Well, I went into cardiac arrest. And it's not nice, guys. I thought, oh, my God, 1 minute I'm smiling at the doctors giving me an angiogram. The next minute I'm being resuscitated. Okay, so they kept me in hospital, and and they said, and I wasn't computer literate at that time. I didn't use the computer or anything. So I'm trapped in the hospital, and what he said to me is that I'm fine, I won't have a heart attack or anything, but if I was walking along, I could just drop dead. I could just drop down dead. If somebody resuscitated me, I could get up and carry on with my life. Well, but he said, what's the chances anybody's going to resuscitate you? So they kept me in, and they gave me the triple heart bypass. I was only young, I was vain. I asked them if they could do the scar lower down. No, not possible. And yet Brian's got a perfect scar lower down. He's had a similar thing. My front of my body is ruined. It's ruined. I've got like 20 years later or whatever. They find out now that I've got a staple, a nail sticking out through my chest. There's a bulge in my chest. It's sticking out, and this is because I've got all staples down the front of me. So I've got half the chance of everybody else of feeling fantastic, I've had all my womb taken away because I had precancerous cells, polyps. And their advice when I was like 30 odd again was to have everything taken away because I was bleeding profusely and you know, I was in a bad way. I have been in a bad way since my 30s, you know, like even having the children was a problem. Even, you know, being able to carry children was a problem. So anyway, let's keep on the triple heart bypass. So they gave me the triple heart bypass, and I was in a terrible state coming out of hospital. I remember Brian and I had somebody in at the time caring for me. And I still felt the same after. I still had the tightness. I still felt exactly the same, but the only difference was I was given a diet sheet where you eat a little bit less meat and you eat a little bit less protein. Who can live like that, you know? So I didn't really bother. I just carried on the way I ate before, because they never really said it can be diet related, that this, what you've got, can be diet related. So going forward to where I am now, so I was in a really, really poorly body. The doctor here, I've been being treated for depression, not sleeping, vertigo, arthritis, my knees. No, I couldn't do this. My knees, you know, like everything was shutting down on me. My liver, because I had tests. I didn't realise I had tests just as I started my raw food journey, and my liver was in the danger zone, you know. And what I would have done if I hadn't have started the journey, I would have carried on being poorly, still eat my drink my desperados, which I liked. I didn't drink much, but you know, drink my desperados or whatever they're called. So anyway, to try and keep this short, where am I today? Where was I before? Before, I was the walking dead. Before, I thought, oh, I'm 59. I'll plod along feeling really ill, but I didn't really want to. I didn't really want to stay here, you know. I'll plod along being ill until I'm 70 and then I'll die like my mother did, you know, because my mother had things wrong and my father died at 59. So, you know, it's not so that added to my depression. Oh, I'm, you know, not going to live. Let's drink. Let's enjoy what we got. Anyway, thanks to my stepdaughter, who decided to turn her life around because she'd had a couple of massive heart attacks, I started reading from the same page as her. And look at me today, guys. You know, I can run the fastest. I can climb a tree. I can climb the things in the park. Okay, I'm thin. I don't know why I'm so thin, because I eat so much food. I enjoy my nose bag. I thoroughly enjoy it, you know. It's fantastic. I want to eat more, but I'm not going to, because you can have too much of a good thing. Last night I overate, and this morning I'm paying the price, you know, and that's even, you know, I'm not paying the price like I used to, but I don't feel as on top form today, because I really did eat and eat and eat, you know, and I'm not going to do that from today. I'm going to settle back down. It's just that Julie's here and she makes such brilliant raw food and she puts it on the table for me. How can I resist it? You know, it's fantastic. So what am I trying to say? I'm not a doctor. All I'm doing is I've been there. I've had the triple heart bypass, and I know that at least one person has listened to what I've said, and they didn't go the route of having a bitrupal or 5. They didn't go that route, and they've healed. You know, they're 99% healed. So if I've saved one person's life, I want to save more people's lives. What you need to do before you decide, if you've got the angina pain, right, or chest pain or chest tightening, don't go to the doctors, guys, because what they're going to do, they're going to give you, obviously, if you're being resuscitated like I was or something, go to the doctor, right? Or those of you that are, I really think you're going to drop dead this second, go to your doctors. But all they're going to do is give you, I was on 7 different tablets for 20 odd years, and the 7 different tablets just fed me more toxemia. It's toxemia in the body. Every illness, my precancerous polyps, or whatever they said they were, is probably, I believe everything is toxemia in the body. Remove the cause, treat the colds with the proper diet, and you're going to relieve the symptoms. How comes I've relieved all my symptoms? You know, like vertigo. You know, I've just named all the illnesses I've had. I haven't got any illnesses anymore. I'm tip top. You know, I don't take medication. I don't take buenos dias. I don't take any of the medications. Yeah, I need those. When I was eating the SAD diet, my meat and my 2 veg and my cooked food, I needed those medications because my heart, you know, my heart wasn't pumping as it should. And yet, eliminate all of those things, which I've done. Eliminate. I can breathe. I can breathe through my nose. I'm alive, guys. I'm alive, and I'm going to be rocking into my 70s. I'm going to be running into my 70s. Look up the fuzz. My stepson says, oh, a load of bollocks, you know. Look up the fuzz, what we're doing to our bodies when we're not moving, when we're not, you know, when we're not using the muscles. What we start to do, you see the old dears walking. Well, I was walking like that. The body is getting fuzz, and the body is deteriorating. That shouldn't be happening. That is a load of old crap. So what you got to do, I got to keep this video short. What you got to do, go on a plant-based diet. You can't do what I'm doing because only 1% of the population do it. I've won the health lottery. I've won the health lottery. I can't give it away. Nobody wants it. So what I'm saying, right, my diet is fruit, vegetables, nuts and seeds, raw. Yeah? Every day. And I love it. I love what I'm eating. I'll never go back. It takes time to reprogram the monkey mind. I'll never go back to what I was doing before. I love what I'm doing. But what you guys need to do, right, is eat fruit until you start feeling better. And then read Dr. Graham's 80-10-10 book. You know, you don't necessarily have to stick rigidly to that. It's a guideline, guys. You know, I've read 120 books and I'm now settled. I don't weigh my food. My body knows what it wants, you know. It knows it wants to be doing this, you know. And so, right, if you can't eat the fruit's going to make you better. It's what you are leaving behind. No, it's not the fruit that's making you better. Your body is making you better. It's what you're leaving behind, what you're not eating anymore, and allowing your body to heal. No fruit is healing your body, but fruit is the only thing that's not damaging your body and it's giving you nutrients. If I eat dehydrated food, it's giving me nothing. There's no nutrients or nothing in dehydrated food, but it's not adding to my toxemia. So, you know, like eat fruit, and then read Dr. Graham's book, read Kevin Hinton's book, Health. It's got another name in front of it, but there we are. I'm just spilling this off. And if you can't do what I'm doing, forks over knives. Go with forks over knives. They're healing, you know. But I want, because I've seen what raw does for me, it makes me raw, you know. And that's what I want, guys. I don't want to be, I want to be as I am now. I've got to look after Brian for the rest of his life, you know. God knows what's in front of me, but at least I've got the strength and the courage and the determination to be able to look after my husband. Yet, 3 years ago, I couldn't put my husband's socks on. You asked my stepson. I could not put it was too hard for me to bend to put now I can lift him. I can pick him up when he falls. I can pick him up because I am rocking. I might only be 7 stone, but I'm rocking. Bye, guys.